Hello, this is the first installation in a multi-part series that will help you on your way to being able to model in Fusion 360, and especially for the first tech challenge. Since this channel is geared around FTC, we'll be focusing on how to start up a good baseline project for you to start building upon using common parts from parts manufacturers. In this case, Go Build Up. But first, we need to create a project. So we have a new project button right at the top that we can click to create a new folder. Now, I've already created one, so I'll just open it up here. When you click this, it'll open up a new folder right here, and you can just rename it. It'll highlight the name, and you can change it. Then you double click to open it up. And first thing you probably would want to do is share this with any other team members that you have. So this button right here, it's a little globe with an eye on it. You click that, and it'll open it up on the web. It'll be a sort of uh, folder interface that you can use to work with any of your files. So from here, you can change folder permissions. And if you look here, I have some people already here because I've added them to other folders in the past. But in this case, you probably haven't. So you will want to click invite, put in their email address, select their role. In this case, it would probably be editor, manager, or administrator. And then you would send their invitation. So now you've created a folder, you've shared it with the people you want to work with. Now with FTC, there's a lot of different parts that you can create, but you also have to buy a lot of these parts from online. And you don't want to necessarily create these parts yourself. That's a pretty big waste of time, but you also don't want to go individually and get each part. So there's actually a pretty good resource that's provided that someone's created that'll give basically every Go Build a Part model in one zip file. So I'll put this link in the description. You'll be able to just click this download button. It'll redirect you to this page. Just click download anyway. It's a large file. It's almost 600 megabytes, but uh, no viruses. Don't worry about that. Once you download it, you have to then unzip it in your file explorer, and then you have to go to upload right on this web page. Click upload folder, and then I'm on a Mac, so I would have to go to where I downloaded it. If I scroll down, I'll be able to see I already unzipped this file. I renamed it called Go Build Up Parts Models. I just click that, upload, and it'll take a while. It took me around 40 minutes to download it. It might be faster or longer for you, but once that uploads, you'll be able to see this right here in your folder, the main project folder. You click it, and if you double click it, and then you'll see all of these different files that you have. There's, I think, over 800, that around that amount. It's quite a large amount, and you don't want to open that file right now because those files take a lot of space. But if I go back here, all right, so now you have access to all of these parts. You will want to know how to build with them. So what we're going to do, I have this file right here. And for this first design tutorial, you'll see I've already put this beam in here. Now to do that, I'm going to go back to the parts models. I have this file open. And then if I scroll here, I just have to left click it. And then there's this drop down menu. I click insert into current design. Then now this has appeared. I can X out here so I can show you a little bit larger screen, but there's a lot of different actions you have at the very top of the screen. But what you want to worry about right now is this main feature that it's opened up for you. So when you insert a new component, because this is what that's what this is called. It's called a component. Each different object that you've created and each object that you've been provided from this large list of parts, you can use them to move them together, and they're called components. They move around separately. There's this feature called move, and with that you're able to rotate, move back and forth, up and down at any axis, any of those movements. And so what we were trying to do is connect these together. So we want to have this gear, so I want to have it this hole uh, parallel to this hole. Then I want to raise this up. The nice thing with this is I have this block right here that I can use to orient my view, so I can see if I just click front. Now it's completely like this. I can slide this up, and right here this is perfectly in line, and check from above. Now I need to see how I need to move this to line it up with the hole. So this will probably be 7.5. That looks pretty good. And then this movement, this will probably be 15. The ballpark. We'll have to change the numbers, scrub a little bit, see what lines up, what doesn't line up. Get pretty close. I think that's pretty close for me. I can then press OK. Go back here, set it to home. And now this is all lined up, ready for me to connect. So now we're going to show you how to actually start modeling. So these are pieces that have already been created. We're just moving them around. Now we're going to create a joint to connect these two. So modeling is pretty straightforward, and when you're actually creating these parts, you don't have to be super detailed, because right now you are mostly going to only have to create joints and connections. A lot of parts will be provided with you with these different parts kits. So we're going to have to create a new component. This beam is a component, this gear is a component. Now we have to create a joint or a connector. So to do that, do not have any of these selected. Otherwise, you'll create a component inside this file, and that'll become really messy. What you want to do is have the main title, design tutorial selected, and then you want to create a new component. Once you create the new component, I guess I'll call it joint. I'll create OK. You can see these have become transparent. That's because now I have not selected them. They are unselected. You can see this thing right here, activate component. If I go here, it says that this is not filled in. That means these are not activated. Only this one's activated, and these ones are hidden. So now what we can do, we can hide that using this feature, and we can create a sketch. So the main part of modeling is first creating a sketch and then expanding it. So with a sketch, if you go back to home, the sketch is made from either the X, Y, Z, any of these planes, or you can choose an already existing model face. So I will want to create this face right here, so I can make a circle or a cylinder that'll line up in there. So this has a bunch of different features up here. When you're sketching, these are the main ones you want to use, and then some of these. These are constraints, but we don't have to worry about that right now. We'll go into that later. So in here, we'll be able to create a center diameter circle. So some nice things about Fusion 360 is it gives you an automatic center point. That's really convenient based on other models that have already been inputted. So we'll do that. Finish the sketch. And now that sketch has been created inside this joint. Now we can hide this beam and show the gear. Oh, actually, we're going to have to move that. You put it inside the wrong one. Put it in this one. Perfect. So now we've got everything lined up. We can open up this one. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to, well, first we'll have to go down here. You can use this. And we'll create a sketch on this southernmost face. Alright, now again we have the assistance. This is, see this little circle? It kind of snaps. Then it snaps here. It's all lined up. Finish sketch. Perfect. Now we can do is something called extruding. So when you have something that fills up this area, it actually needs to have some space, needs to exist. So what we can do, we apply the extrude function to this, and we just pull it through. So now it's actually has some mass, and exists within this space. And you can then hide this gear, do the same thing with the beam. We'll click this. We can use the different edges to select different faces. Select that, click extrude. Might have to slightly orient ourselves in order to properly select this. There we go. And now you can extrude it the other way. And that seems about right. And that's good. So now we have, if we show this gear again, we have a gear with something filling it up, and we have this base flat beam with something filling it up. But now we need to have a transition between them to connect them. Now this wouldn't be extremely practical, but just to demonstrate some features, we're going to use this loft feature. Loft creates a transition between two different sized parts. So in this case, we have this large hole for this gear, and then we have a small hole for this beam. So if you click this edge, we can access this face. It selects one profile, moves on to the next profile that we need to look for. This always messes up, but if your orientation ever screwed up, just use home. Move down, zoom in a little bit. Okay. And then select. So you select it. Okay. We've created a transition. This is a pretty basic thing, and then now we can activate everything together, and it works. We created a simple model in Fusion 360. You can try this out yourself as well and work it out. All right, so we've created a model. We've learned how to put in different files that we've downloaded from online, and hopefully you can use this at least to get started with working a little bit in FTC, start coming up with ideas, different pieces, different parts, and start modeling with what you want to make. Hopefully this helped you out, and hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.